Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, I'm going to showcase two things with regards to Mikola. Number one, this is the most optimal damage team right now to max your damage for Skyclops. And number two, I'm going to do a mini experiment to shut up all the doubters with regards to how Mikola's ultimate works. So for Mikola's ultimate, honestly speaking, I have no idea how people think that Courage Fear is an on-cast skill, because this skill can go permanent if you hold on to the arena. And what's the point of it being permanent if it's only an on-cast buff for your team itself? Clearly it's an aura skill, and people look at my gameplay, look at my video, and they like, how is this an aura skill? It's an on-cast skill. So I'm just gonna prove it to them that it's an aura skill and shut out the doubters once and for all. So without further ado, let's start with this meta team. I'll explain the positioning first so that you guys understand why you want to position your units that way. So right here, we have Shakir in the middle for him to jump straight and get the maximum coverage for the Lupin aura. We have Mikola at the back to quickly engage the ultimate so that you get all the buffs on Freyasto, as well as the illusion, as well as Lily May if she's around the aura itself, the Courage Fear aura. And then we have Smokey also placed to the front. There's two reasons why the units are blocking the left side. It is to force Mikola to walk to the right side so that her aura can cover Lily May at a higher percentage chance. And at the same time, because of all the different stacking itself, the damage that your team is able to do once the summons are down the battlefield is insane. But the issue is this is not exactly the best in terms of killing the summons. However, the increase in damage from the different buffs is sufficient for you to break your own record, or break my own record at the very least, in terms of the maximum damage cap itself. So therefore, this is the best team, and without further ado, let's start the run. Actually, I do have the best records here. So I did RNG my way out for this one to get 54 build. So I'm just going to run this replay. So this is how the team works. So Shakir starts off with the aura, as you guys can see, and then because Mikola has an energy recovery so that her ultimate comes out a little bit faster, so that's where her buffs becomes permanent, because we have her as Supreme Plus and we are holding onto the arena. So this is where the killing for the summons is a little bit slow, because I think all the units in the team don't kill the units that fast, but the unit outside, I mean the damage that your team deal outside of the summon invulnerability is insane. So yeah, it's a little bit slow here, as you guys can see. Okay, but once you're able to quickly kill it, or you just RNG your way with maybe like a Lily May's ballet dance, you just hit so hard that it doesn't matter if you kill the summons too slow right here, as you guys can see. Yeah, so we were able to break our 54 build record, and the damage distribution is as such. Okay, so I mean pretty standard like team, but just Mikola replacing Skalita for that additional buff damage from the EX weapon, as well as the attack buff and the aura haste buff itself. Okay, so next I have another experiment to showcase that her skill is an aura buff. Okay, so I'm gonna remove Smokey, I'm gonna remove Shakir, I'm gonna remove Lily May. So right here, Mikola is currently the only unit with the ability to buff the allies' haste, which is through the Dauntless Hume itself. And we do have Freyasto to just increase the speed with the energy regen, so we can get to see the result as fast as possible. And I'm going to add in other units which are generally good Dream Realm characters, but they don't offer any haste buff for your team. So we have Corinne right here. So Corinne's skill has no haste buff for the team. So damage, okay, shielding, okay, damage right here, right? So this is increase in haste for himself, okay, and then we have Vine Arms, which is the true damage and the green color aura. Gonna throw in one more unit, which is the Measure, okay, and we're gonna use a really old unit, which is Merrily. Not say old, I mean like less optimal Dream Realm character. Okay, so in this team itself, this mini experiment, right, the only unit that can provide a haste buff is Mikola, and if Merrily jumps within the aura itself, she will get a haste buff. So you guys will see the haste buff on her head later on, right? If she's not within the aura, she won't get the haste buff. Right, so is it aura? It is an aura if you stand in it and then you get a buff, right? If it's not an aura, if let's say she jumps into it and then she don't get a buff, because that means there is an on-cast buff on the ally itself. Okay, so without further ado, let's start this mini experiment. We'll go at one time so that you guys can see everything happening. Okay, so the battle start, we run in. Okay, we got the arena at the start, so we got that sword buff, which is an attack up. So Merrily loves to jump around. Okay, go at one time. Okay, start running through all the summons itself. Nice. Okay, merrily jumping further and further away from Mikola, unfortunately. Okay, so all the units have no haste buff yet, because at this point Mikola hasn't gotten the ultimate up. So now Mikola got the ultimate up, but as you guys can see, Corin doesn't have the haste buff yet. Right, if you take a look at Corin right now, he doesn't have the haste buff, but the units that are within Mikola's AoE has the haste buff. And now when Corin jumps in, Corin gets that hourglass haste buff once again. Okay, and Merrily doesn't have the haste buff, so you guys take a look at Merrily's buff on top. Okay, and then all of a sudden Merrily has a haste buff from evocation spell. So evocation spell proc the blue color aura, and you got the haste buff. So Merrily throughout this battle has never gotten the haste buff. But if you take a look at Corin, Corin has this on-off haste buff on him as he's jumping in and out, because he's jumping in and out of the aura itself. So yeah, Courage Sphere, aura proven, doubt shattered. Okay, that's it for this simple experiment. Okay, so if Corin is not within the coverage of Mikola's skill, he's ain't gonna get the haste aura. Like Merrily is the control here, because Merrily hasn't gotten the haste aura because she's never inside that haste buff. The only time she gets the haste aura is from evocation spells haste buff itself. So she is like a comparison, right? She's like a control setting. Okay, so Corin has a double haste. Okay, so same thing for Tamasia. Tamasia's jumping in and out, and if Tamasia is not within the AoE, Tamasia's not getting the haste buff. So right here we have a few mobility unit to showcase the change in the buff coming in and out as the unit is repositioning themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Courage Sphere, Mikola's ultimate is an aura buff. Okay, done. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys again in my next AFK journey video. Bye guys.